Hey, what's up everybody, it's me Jordan and I'm back with another drawing video. This time I'm just drawing a random anime girl. I found this reference I think on Pinterest and I actually did this line work quite a long time ago. I've just got like a stack of line works which I need to colour. So I got around to colouring it and I thought I'd show you guys the process, talk a little bit about it and give you some tips along the way and maybe help you avoid some mistakes that I sometimes make. So as usual, I'm starting with the skin colours, and what I kind of like to do now is actually not do too many different shades with the Copics, keep it down to like maybe 3 or 4 different shades, and then add a bunch of colour with my Prismacolor pencils. I've just kind of found that if you try and layer too many Copics on top of each other, it stops blending so well. So often you're trying to go for like this really nice 3D effect with blending all these different colours, but it just kind of does the opposite. It just messes the paper up and doesn't blend nice, and it just looks messy instead of looking really nice. So I found layering the Prismacolor on top gives it a really nice effect, and you can kind of see here that I've gone in with some purples and some pinks just to give it a slightly different look, and I've done that with a lot of my drawings, so if you've watched a bunch of my previous videos you kind of know what I like doing with colouring. I personally kind of like bringing in some of the pinks and purples when I'm doing more feminine kind of drawings, because I feel it's got kind of like a bit of a cutesy look to it, I guess. But it's really just completely up to you. You can experiment with different colours, or you can tone it down a little bit and just focus on using more of the skin colours. But you can just have a play with it. Using Prismacolors is a lot more forgiving than using Copics, so if you don't really like it, you can actually erase it sometimes, as long as you don't push too hard. So start out light if you're trying with some different colours, that way you're not going to do anything you're going to regret, and you can just erase it if you don't like it and try something else. I just really love using my Prismacolors in conjunction with my Copics, and I get a lot of people kind of asking about Copics and what other alternatives there are to them, because Copics are really expensive and not everyone can afford them, especially some of you younger guys. There's a bunch of other brands of like markers, and honestly I haven't tried them. Copics are just really good and I'm happy to pay the extra money for them. They've just got like a really good colour selection and they're just really good markers, so I just haven't found it like worth me even trying the others out, honestly. For you guys who can't really afford the big sets, I just suggest getting a smaller set. There's this set that I got a while ago, it's got 24 markers I think. It's called the Manga set, I'm pretty sure, and you can get that at a pretty reasonable price. I think it's just a really good place to start out your Copic collection if you don't really have the money to buy a 72 set straight up. So I've got an unboxing video of that set if you want to check it out. And then from there, if you're missing any colours, you can pretty much just layer on top of that with your Prismacolor pencils or whatever pencils you like using, and that kind of just evens it out and you'll have a really good coverage of colours anyway. So I think that's a good way to start your Copic collection. Just kind of buy new sets as you go, and that way you're not spending all your money at once and it won't feel so bad. So next I want to talk about a comment that I got. I'll just read it out and then kind of talk a little bit about it because I thought it was pretty interesting and it might be helpful to some of you guys. I get a bunch of comments from you guys and I really appreciate them. I try to respond to all of them, but like I've said in previous videos, some of you guys have your settings set so I can't actually reply to them. So that's something you might want to check out, because if I don't respond to you, that's probably why. So I'll read the comment for you guys. It's a pretty long one, so the guy obviously put a lot of thought into it. Or a girl, I don't know. Whenever I see good artwork from other artists, it motivates me. Yet at the same time, it can make me slightly disheartened looking at my own work. When I draw, a lot of the times I end up not finishing my drawings because I'll see it as not good enough, or sometimes I'll just be afraid of messing it up. I've actually kind of stopped drawing as much because of this. I used to do several complete drawings a week, whereas now I'll do one every month or few months. I came across these videos and am thinking of trying to do even just a small drawing every day. I'm terrible at inking and colouring with anything besides coloured pencils, so I'd like to try and improve with that. I appreciate the work you put into making these videos. You've helped inspire me to start taking drawing more seriously and to actually try to improve, rather than just getting upset with the level I'm currently at. So thank you and have a nice day. So I just wanted to include this comment because it's something that I could really personally relate to, and I imagine there's a lot of other artists who kind of feel the same way. Without trying to get too deep here, I think social media has changed things completely. And in regards to art, it's never been easier to see other artists' work. And while that's really awesome because you can see some amazing stuff and that can be really inspiring, at the same time, it can have a bit of an effect where you just kind of feel inadequate. And I think a lot of people who aren't really confident with their art can see all these other well-established artists, they can see their work and just feel like they can't compare at all to them, and that can be just really discouraging for them, not kind of realizing that it's all in the process and that those other artists have been practicing for years and it's taken a long time to get where they are. And I used to feel the exact same way, especially when it came to YouTube. I would see these other artists who had massive channels, and this was back when I had 50 subscribers or something, and you'd post a video and you'd get 20 views. You just felt like you were completely different from them and that you kind of had no chance almost. But now, once I've kind of stuck with it for a long time, I kind of realised that they're just like us. They're not some amazing human being with different skills and just natural talent. It's all something that they've had to build up. So never feel like you have to measure up to them. You just do the best drawings you can and you keep practicing and you stick with it and you'll get better. There's plenty of artists that I look up to, and especially on Instagram, there's just some amazingly talented people who have been working on their skill for a really long time. And sometimes it just seems like it's unattainable. But honestly, the more you kind of stick with something, you just begin to realize that it all comes down to practice and just persistence. Another thing you mentioned was not wanting to finish your drawings because you didn't want to mess it up. And I used to be like this a bit as well, but ever since I started doing lots more drawings, I've stopped caring so much about it, and I've just kind of trusted myself a little bit more. And one thing that I'll say, if you're feeling like that, just think you may as well finish it, because in a year's time, even if you did say stuff it up, or even if you did a good job, in a year's time you're probably going to think the drawing was shit anyway. There's no benefit in not finishing it, because then you've just got an unfinished drawing that doesn't look good anyway, because it's just incomplete. So you may as well try and finish it. If you stuff it up, you'll learn something from it. And that's another thing to really keep in mind. Even drawings that you make mistakes on, that's often things you'll learn a lot from. So if you stuff up the skin tones, you'll know for next time not to do what you did before. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. Drawing's meant to be fun. If you stuff it up, who cares? Just move on to the next drawing and do your best with that. Alright, rant done. Let's talk a little bit about the drawing and what I'm doing now. I'm going in with my trusty white gel pen, and I went crazy with it again. I pretty much always go crazy with it, and sometimes it's kind of annoying because it's I feel like I've nearly finished the drawing when I've finished the colouring and stuff, and I'm like, yes, it's finally done, I can move on to the next thing. And then I spend ages with the gel pen. So it's a little bit annoying, but I think it looks cool, so I do it anyway. I've put in the effort with the colouring, so may as well finish it off with some crazy highlights, make it look really shiny, and just put random dots and stuff around the place. I don't really know why I do that, but I kind of think it looks cool, so I just go with it. I think in a recent video, maybe not last week's one, but the week before, I told you guys that I was going to get a new light, just another desk lamp to go along with the one that I've already got, so I could kind of get better light coverage and just kind of brighten up the picture a little bit. And it's kind of annoying because I went to the store, I looked at a few different ones, and I found this one that I liked. It was pretty cool. It had 3 different settings, and it was a touch lamp, and you could kind of move around a bit. So it seemed like they'd work pretty well, but typically it was out of stock and they're waiting on a new shipment of them, and I have to wait until the end of November, I think. So I'm just going to have to do the best with what I've got at the moment. New footage from my new camera is going to be coming out in a couple of weeks, because I've still just got some old footage that I'm making videos out of. But that's looking pretty good. It'll look a lot better as well with the new lighting. So that's coming in a month or something. So it's going to be really cool when that comes in, and you should be able to see a big difference, hopefully. Otherwise I've just wasted a lot of money on a really expensive camera. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this week's video. If you've got any questions you'd like me to answer, let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you guys next week in next week's drawing video.